We are making Mrs. Knott's famous fried chicken, an iconic Cordelia in her own right. I use Crisco just because I still have so much Crisco left.
But I'm a white person that loves unseasoned food, so.
You still got me. You still have my dumb videos to look forward to. Hello and welcome back to another episode of RJ's Food Rocks. It is 2021. The worst is over and I don't know how much better it's gonna get real quick, but hey, you still got me. You still have my dumb videos to look forward to. And we are celebrating the new year with the perfect recipe, Knott's Berry Farm, famously another theme park in Southern California, or like Central LA County. I don't know. I actually don't know. Is that where Knott's Berry Farm is? Anyway, someone will correct me. But today we are making a very special recipe. We are making Mrs. Knott's famous fried chicken. Now, I have to give full credit to this recipe to not only IAPA, who shared the recipe on their website. A former peer of mine, a friend, a lover of the show, MK, was the one who shared me the recipe, and I've been obsessed with it ever since because I have never had this fried chicken before, but I know how iconic and historic and important this is for the world of theme parks, and I wanted to make it at home. I'm going to say that it was not an easy recipe. It is, okay, in hindsight, an easy recipe. I had the blessing of time to make this fried chicken, and I would suggest that make sure that you clear out your afternoon if you're making this chicken. So before even Knott's Berry Farm became the like theme park that it is today, it was just that. It was just a berry farm. And the Knott's family sold jams and jellies. But when the Great Depression hit, they needed to branch out more on actual, food. And so that's when Cordelia Knott, I did not know that was her name. The only Cordelia that I knew before this was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, famously an iconic Cordelia in her own right. But Cordelia Knott started selling fried chicken on the menu, and that's when it kind of grew, and it eventually became Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant, which eventually became the creation of the theme park in general. So a whole family's besides the jams and the jellies, because that's where we know the Knott's Berry Farm from, obviously. But this fried chicken really cemented the legacy of this theme park and theme park food in general. And that's what I love, especially with Food Rocks. That's what makes it fun, the random histories that the theme park food creates. So excited for this recipe. Let's get right to it. Let's go to the kitchen and let's make Mrs. Knott's fried chicken dinner. All right, so the first step that you're really doing is preparing your chicken. So I had two bone-in chicken breasts, 2 chicken leg quarters, so it has the thigh attached to it, and then I just happen to have tray of bone-in chicken thighs, because not only are bone-in chicken thighs the cheapest cut of chicken meat to buy, they're just so good. So I usually kind of buy those in stock and buy 1 or 2 when I go to the grocery store. It equaled to about 8 pieces of chicken, which is perfect because you're basically going to brine them. This is the secret of the recipe, I feel like. This is the essence of the recipe, is performing a salt brine, which if you've never brined before, I guarantee you will be brining your meats all the time after you do this. Essentially, you're going to soak your chicken for about 3 hours in a concoction of salted water. You're doing 3 quarts of water to 1 cup of kosher salt. I must have some weird vertigo where I can't see oh, this is clearly gonna overflow. I mean, the omelets was proof of that. But I had too much water, obviously, for the chicken in my bowl, and get to as close to 3/4 water cup of salt and then all of your chicken pieces. And yes, let this brine for about 3 hours. If you're a person that's not used to a lot of salt, like Adam, my husband, was like, oh, I can taste the salt. So probably 3 hours will be your max. I wouldn't go any more than that. Once you have that ready, you are going to dip each chicken piece in flour. Now, I was very surprised that I did not see, like, secret herbs and spices. But thinking back, if she made this chicken during the Great Depression, Mama, she only had flour. So I don't blame Cordelia at all. You'll find out that when you fry it later and you eat it, I was like, wow. Salted water and flour really is all I need for fried chicken. It's so good. Anyway, you are basically coating each piece of the chicken with flour and then patting it dry so that all the excess shakes out. I like using a wire rack here, like with a cookie sheet and the wire rack on it. And I basically just kind of like left the chicken there to shake off the excess flour, and then I just used that same tray when I was frying the chicken. Once you have your chicken prepared, you're going to have your cooking oil ready to fill an 8 to 8.5 quart pot about halfway with oil. If you need kind of like a basis for that, as long as the oil will fully cover your chicken, if you're doing like a layer of chicken. I like frying in my cast iron just because I feel like it adds, I don't know if it actually adds anything, but I just really like doing it. So I use my cast iron, and I'm not going to fry any more than like 2 pieces at a time. So it was perfect. The really important thing about frying, and I have said this before, really invest in a like a candy stick thermometer. But use it for deep frying, because that way you can always gauge. What I like about this recipe is they're very much like heat it up to about 350 to 375. Obviously, when you're frying, it's going to make the temperature go down. So fry at around 300 to 325. And that's a really good basis, because then okay, when I take these out, how much do I wait for the oil to get hot again to put in a new batch? So you're basically going to do this until all of your fried chicken is fried. It's going to take a while just because like every 2 pieces took about like 15 to 20 minutes. And you're just going to kind of like flip around. I did have some accidents, absolutely, because I'm doing this thing now where I'm filming everything on my dining table. Oil was just going all over the place. And so later on, I added a splatter screen to kind of like help that, but I wanted to show off, first for the video. But after those first 2 chicken pieces were done, I started using the splatter screen. That whole area, after I fried it, smelled like fried chicken all night. And Friedrich, my dog, was going crazy, kept sniffing around like, I smell chicken. I know there's chicken here. He was like sniffing the carpet. He was like licking the carpet. Just be ready for that. Just let them rest and let them drain. Here's the trick. So 15 minutes before you are ready to eat, you are going to refry them, but just using about a 1/4 cup of oil in a skillet. So like very much shallow fry. The only thing you're trying to do here is to get a crispy skin once again. I use Crisco just because I still have so much Crisco left from a recipe that I made. I don't even remember what recipe it was, but I just have so much Crisco left. So I just did half a block and then I fried it, and just really getting the chicken to get that nice final fry to get a crispy skin. And there you have it, Mrs. Knott's easy as peasy, as simple as it could be fried chicken. Okay, you do want a thigh, a breast, or a leg? Thigh. Leg. There you go.
This is so unseasoned looking.
Yes. Famously, the recipe was just chicken and flour.
Okay. Lots of salt.
Good skin.
Good skin.
Famously, growing up, my brother and I would compete who can eat all the skin of the fried chicken. And then, like, naked chicken would be left behind for the rest of the family. So these were brined for 3 hours. That's all the seasoning that the chicken gets.
Gotcha.
And then you fry it with just flour.
You can taste the salt.
Yeah.
I think you could zhuzh it still.
It's like classic.
But I'm a white person that loves unseasoned food, so.
I was about to say, it's like classic fried chicken. Yes, it's very like Amish fried chicken. But it's no frills.
It's
Just
chicken that is fried.
It's chicken that is fried. And sometimes, that's all we need. And look, our table got a nice glossy finish from the splattered oil.
RJ didn't know what temperature chicken needed to be cooked to. I had to tell him.
We don't need to include that in. Another satisfied customer. Thank you so much for watching another episode of RJ's Food Rocks. You can find me on all of your social media at RJ Food Rocks. You can also go to rjfoodrocks.com. We're setting a new subscriber goal, obviously, because we have to always go further and farther. And our next subscriber goal is 1,000 subscribers. So yes, we are doubling the amount that we have, but what 1,000 subscribers mean is that we can monetize on YouTube, which mama needs a check. I don't know, March. Let's say by March we get 500 more subscribers. We'll try that and see how that goes. We've also launched a Patreon just because we were able to get my subscriber goal. So you can go to patreon.com/rjfoodrocks and you get, here we go. On this Patreon, you get exclusive content. There's a video every week just for you. You're the only ones that get to see this. You get early access to new things that I'm trying out, whether it's new recipes, new video types, new media types, like whatever I'm coming up with, you're the first ones to see it exclusively for the Patreon as well. Any Patreon subscriber is automatically included in the monthly drawing that I do for new apparel, whether that's a hat, a sweater, an apron, a bag, who knows, whatever merch that we come up with, you are automatically eligible to get a drawing to win it. Plus you'll get a live link to me. Like, I am making these up as I go, so any chance I get to like communicate with a community. Also, every episode from now on, all of my Patreon subscribers will be flashing and you'll get a video credit every single time. So thank you to all my Patreon subscribers, if I have already some by the time this video shows up. Who knows, but here they are. They're right here. Thank you again so much. We will be back here with another video next week. Bye. What a disappointing goodbye. Bye.